I came across an article today, and the article talked about future episodes of back pain and predictors of future episodes of back pain. And one of the things, and this is from the Journal of Spine, one of the things they talk about is bad balance can potentially be a predictor for back pain in the future. So you may not have pain today, but if your balance is bad, there's a good chance you'll have pain in the future. And there's two reasons. The first reason is the way the muscles contract. When the muscles don't contract properly in and around the vertebrae, it will start to cause you some back pain. We had a newsletter. Our newsletter goes out every week, and in our newsletter we have tips, and next week we're going to do a video newsletter. But one of the tips that we had this week was balance, so I thought we'd talk about balance. But there's another thing here. We got to 1,000 today. We got to 1,000 case studies. Today's the day, Friday the 13th. I don't know if that's a good day or a bad day, but we're up to 1,000. So we're gonna have a video next week about our 1,000th case study. But today is about balance. So we're gonna talk more about balance because balance is very important, and it's a key component to our therapy. One of our main points, and we have a 9-step sciatica solution, and one of our steps is making sure that your balance is sufficient, so when you graduate from our program, you are strong and you know what to do. But the key is there are things you can do now. If you have bad balance, you can start to make your balance better, and it will start to solve some of your problems. This is not a diagnosis, nor is this a treatment. This is only about balance. So if you have bad balance, what happens is sometimes you can miss a step, you can fall off the curb, you can kick your toe on a tile. I don't know if anybody kicks their toes on a tile, but what happens sometimes, you lose your balance, you fall down. That could cause you some problems. That's not really the main contributor. Also, proper balance is important because it's a nervous system reaction. I'm going to get through this. There are 4 components to a functional spine. We've talked about the spine. The head and the hips, and between each vertebrae there's a disc. So there's 24 vertebrae, but each vertebrae is controlled by muscles. So there are 4 components to a unstable spine. An unstable spine ultimately will lead to back pain. So there's a muscle component, there's a nerve component, there's a joint component, how well the joints move, and then there's your posture. So there's 4 components. One of them is the nerve. It's the ability for the nervous system to communicate quickly. Okay? The ability for the nerves to communicate quickly with the muscles ultimately is what gives you good balance. So when the nervous system communicates slowly or poorly, then you have bad balance. So part of what we want you to do is we want you to have better balance to make sure those muscles control the way things contract in and around the spine. When they control properly, everything functions better. So why do we have this problem? Well, balance comes from stimulation in your feet. How much information is going from the nervous system from your feet up through the spine? In our culture, again, we've talked about this, every tip that we have and every tip that we've ever given you is a tip because we sit too long. We're sitting in a seated position too long causes a great deal of trouble, but because we sit so long, we're getting less activity on our feet. We're not stimulating our feet. It's a key component in stimulation of our feet. We're walking on flat and smooth surfaces. You don't walk on surfaces like this. And also we have shoes with a lot of cushions. And the cushion decreases inflammation. So what we have to do is increase inflammation in and out of our feet. And the way we have you do that is we have you stand on one foot. The Indians, the ancient Native American Indians, used to run, if they had back pain, they would run on dry riverbeds. Why would they do that? Because dry riverbeds are unstable. They didn't know why it worked, but ultimately what happens is when you run on an unstable surface or walk on an unstable surface, it increases the communication patterns through the nervous system. And that process of communication through the nervous system helps things function better. So what do we have you do? Our goal is you have to stand on one foot and you stare straight ahead. I'm not sure if I stand on one foot, am I going to be out of the screen here? So you stand on one foot, if you can do this, and you stare off into space, not out of space, but you stare straight ahead. So you're standing, you can't tell, but I have my left leg out. So you just stand just like that, okay? And you stand like that for 30 seconds. And you do it 2 or 3 times, okay? The ultimate goal is to stand on one foot and look straight ahead, because that gives you balance. And you have to slowly increase the level of difficulty. So you want to start with your eyes open, and then you go to the point where your eyes close. Now be careful. I don't want you to fall down. I don't want anybody falling down. So you have to do this where you have your hand on something if you close your eyes, because you don't want to fall over and whack your head. It's not a good idea. So be very careful. Okay, so you have to gradually, incrementally increase the level of difficulty to the point where you can increase your balance. So you do it a few times a day. Start with your eyes open, go with your eyes closed, and try to make it more difficult. So, do it twice a day, do it in the morning, do it in the evening. The key to this is to increase your balance. Increase your nervous system's functional ability. When your nervous system functions better, you have less pain. That's our goal. Our goal is for you to be better. Remember, it is a future predictor of back pain. There's a couple of predictors. One is the strength of your low back, but also another one is your balance. If your balance is good, you're less likely to have future episodes of back pain. So, if you, where am I going? It's Friday. I've done this before. I've done a lot of these.